What an incredible group of LGBTQ champions we're honoring tonight. Shannon Lynn Parker has devoted her life to fighting for social justice, particularly for trans women of color. At Howard Brown, she has helped hundreds of transgender Illinoisans feel at home, access the services that they need to build a better future for themselves and their families. I've visited Howard Brown a number of times and earlier this year as well, and I can tell you what wonderful work they are doing and how powerful it truly is. Thank you to all from Howard Brown. Danny Wirtz has helped Breakthrough Beverage pave the way as one of the strongest supporters of the LGBTQ equality movement in the corporate world. He's shown that supporting the LGBTQ community isn't just the right thing to do, it's also good for business. Congratulations and thank you for everything that you do, Danny. And to the Illinois AFL-CIO and my good friend Mike Kerrigan, you have stood with the LGBTQ workers and families time and again. Whether it's marriage equality, non-discrimination, or inclusive curriculum in schools, Mike and the AFL-CIO pushed the labor movement to fight for every Illinoisan's rights and protections. Thank you very much, Mike. It's truly an honor to be with you again tonight, and this time as your governor. I've been fighting for equality for my whole life, alongside many of you, but tonight I'm here to say that our state government is firmly on your side, on the side of every gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, and queer person in the state of Illinois. It's stunning, really, to think about the progress that's been made over the past decade alone. But I grew up in the Bay Area of San Francisco, raised by a mother who was deeply committed to social justice and LGBTQ rights before it was popular to do. I was marching in the Chicago Pride Parade back when it was still a protest march. 25 years ago, when the marriage of two men was illegal, our friends Stephen and Dale told my wife, MK, and me that they wanted to get married, and they asked if they could get married in our backyard. We jumped at the opportunity to host them and their wedding 25 years ago. We didn't do it because we were trying to make a political statement, though. We did it because they were our friends and they were in love. But we all know that back then it wasn't widely accepted, and frankly, it took a long time for that to become accepted. To get from there to where we are now is pretty remarkable. And that's really a credit to so many of you in the room who have led this fight. And that's frankly something that I owe you a debt of gratitude for, because so many of my friends have taken advantage of the opportunity to get married because of what you got passed. And thank you to Governor Pat Quinn. And back then, I followed your lead on the marriage equality bill in 2013, and I was glad to do it and to help, and I was able to talk to some of the folks who became the last couple of votes that came across the line to make it happen. For those of you who have not been engaged before in the fight, I just want you to know your predecessors, the people that are maybe at your table and that are all across this room, they did this for you, and it was not easy back then. It may seem easy now, but it was not easy 5 or 6 years ago. Thank you for teaching all Illinoisans how to fight for the right to love and to have that love recognized by the law. And thank you for making sure that my two kids grow up in a country more equal and more kind than it's ever been, despite the guy in the White House. But those of you in this room know better than anyone that marriage equality was never the end game. It was never going to get LGBTQ homeless youth a place to live or protect our communities from attacks of hate. It just has to stop. We need to build a society that recognizes the humanity in all of us. We need to fight for a state where people are not just tolerated, but accepted and empowered to thrive. That's what I'm trying to build. That's exactly what I'm trying to do as your governor. The state of Illinois will use every tool at our disposal to not only defend, but embolden Illinoisans of all sexual orientations and gender identities. We have already started that work. Just yesterday, I was proud to have signed an executive order reversing the previous administration's cut to PrEP funding and directing state agencies to work with healthcare providers. Because our goal is getting to zero. Look, it's an important but only a first step to build on the progress that everyone in this room has pushed for decades. And my administration isn't stopping there. There's too much at stake. With an anti-equality federal government trying to push people back into the shadows, we must stand up and fight, and we will. When the president spews bigotry and hatred from the White House or the Supreme Court tries to roll back your rights, I will use the full force of my office here in the state of Illinois to protect Illinois' LGBTQ community. And we're not just going to play defense and fight back. We're going to fight and move our state forward. We'll make sure that LGBTQ students are safe, accepted, and nurtured in our classrooms, and that all students learn how to treat their classmates with dignity and respect. We're going to make sure that all transgender Illinoisans are ensured their basic human rights and that health care services are provided to them so that they can thrive. We're going to rid our schools and hospitals and social services of any kind of discrimination and take real steps to combat the HIV and youth homelessness epidemics that disproportionately affect the LGBTQ community. Look, these are real challenges, but by working together as a united front, the governor's office, the government of the state of Illinois, Equality Illinois, and each and every one of you, we can make a real difference in so many communities all across the state of Illinois. As your governor, I'm committed to that fight, and I know you are too. Let's go out and get to work. Thank you very much.